Hello and welcome to Fox Sports Lab. NBA in a week that Josh is making us giddy with his history-making feats. I'm your host, Ben Dixon. Joining me, as always, our NBA expert, Jaymz Clements. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Ben. I'm more pumped than a bike tire to be here, mate.
That is one of your best lines, and I'm pumped as well. So coming up, we shine a light on the red-hot Aussies. We ask Carlos Boozer about the early season and plot twists, and James and Carlos go head-to-head with the big call. It's a massive week for Josh Giddey, especially at Madison Square Garden. Can you believe he's joined Wilt Chamberlain in the record books? It's raining triple-doubles, James.
It is absolutely ridiculous, Dicko. I love it as well because, look, in terms of can I believe it? Yes, because he's a triple-double machine now. Like, that's what Giddey does. Literally just, let's go. Giddy up. Right there. Giddy up. Come on. He dropped 24, 12 and 10. I love him. He gets out there at MSG. He joins Wilt basically by going, cool, my first two games in MSG, I'll throw a triple-double in there just for good luck. How good's this? Hasn't been done since 1968. His playmaking just keeps getting better. He's a triple-double threat literally each game now. Like, it's the first one of the season, but really what we're asking is just for his teammates to hit some more shots for him. And I think we'd be laughing with triple-doubles just raining everywhere for the rest of the season, Dicko. All
right, well, you're speaking of teammates. How important is Giddey and Gilgeous-Alexander to the super fun Thunder outfit we're seeing?
Well, they're the straws that stir everything, basically. Gilgeous-Alexander is absolutely wilding at the moment, Dicko. 31-odd points a game. He is shredding. The best part is, though, he's doing that without relying on three balls, which is pretty incredible. But really, it's the defense for the Thunder that drives everything. They're a top 10 defense. No one saw that coming. That's the Lou Dort of the world, those sorts of dudes, just the sort of unheralded guys going out there and doing sort of the dirty work for the Thunder, while Giddey and Shea just absolutely tear it up. They're absolutely smashing at the moment. I love them.
Can they take down your man Ja Morant and the Grizzlies on Saturday?
Can they, Dicko? Yes. Will they? No. Even without Desmond Bane, who I absolutely adore, because that dude is smashing threes like it's going out of business, they'll push this Grizzlies team, but the Grizz just have a lot of talent across the board. But again, we've got another great point guard matchup in Shea versus Ja. Again, it's the Spider-Man meme. I love this. It's going to be a great, great, great game, I think, but the Thunder probably won't win it. They do cover these games, though, so they'll keep it close, and if it's a line that's under 7.5 points or something like that, I think I'd roll with the Thunder, but I think the Grizzlies probably still win it.
Let's look at Jock Landale. Is it a case of knowing your role, playing your role at Phoenix with him?
The Rooster. I love him. Jock, he's unreal coming off the bench. 100% though, it's all about the role. It's all about the role. Coming in, he's playing 15 minutes a game. He's dropping in, 7-odd points, 4.5 rebounds, shooting 50% from the floor, basically. But really, his plus-minus numbers on the floor are what make him so special, right? Like, if you're only playing 15 minutes, come in, make an impact. That's what Jock's doing for Phoenix. They're one of the best teams in the West. He comes in, keeps them rolling. He's basically got a plus-minus, I think, of around 5.5, which puts him in the upper echelon of some of the NBA players, which is pretty striking to do in only 15 minutes. That shows how much of an impact he's having, and he just fits perfectly. And this is it, a shooting big man. I wish he'd hit more threes though, Dicko. I'm just saying. He's not going great from downtown, but he'll get there. They'll drop. But a shooting big man on that sort of contract, that's rolled gold in the NBA. So he's fitting in great, and I reckon San Antonio and Atlanta are kicking themselves for sort of not holding onto him.
I know that role so well, the bench player. I just never had the impact. That's all right. All right, let's talk our Aussies at Brooklyn. Now, Simmons and Mills. Now, it looks like the Nets need them more than ever.
They do, because they're getting absolutely smashed by the likes of the Sacramento Kings earlier in the week. Look, Simmons, the way he's moving, I'm worried. It's a month in, Dicko. He looks like me running out there, and I groan when I get off the couch. Like, what is going on, Simo? He's killing
in trouble.
Me. Box Hill Benny needs to lift. But it's more about work rate, and it's more about his impact sort of across the board that we need to see more out of Ben. He did come out and say, though, look, the injury, the back issues that he had been dealing with, a lot of it's to do with nerves, and that will take like probably 18 months to sort of really get back to sort of prime condition. So, look, I'm holding out hope for Simo at the moment, but really, he's the walking triple single. He's like 6 points, 6 rebounds, almost 6 assists. It's a bit worrisome. But look, a month in, we want to see more of that impact rolling because he's going to be the key for that team in the second half of the season defensively. And Patty Mills, you mentioned him.
Yes, look, love Patty.
His role has been sort of reduced under their new coach, Jacques Vaughn. They've basically put in Cam Thomas, which is a younger, more selfish version of Patty Mills, if you ask me. But Patty, look, he's there for veteran leadership. Come in, change a bit of the vibe, do some good things, keep Ben Simmons on the, on the straight and narrow, keep him pumped up. And basically, they just need him to come in, hit threes off the bench, because that's going to be the key for the Nets as well, right? It's all about shooting for them. Surround Kevin Durant with shooters. Patty Mills is a shooter. I still reckon they should start him and just let him, keep the ball and just go with Boomer Patty 100% of the time, but that's just me.
Just get him the ball and finish his work. All right, have you read anything into the trade rumours with Simmons to the Mavericks?
So this popped off last week, and look, it was one of those ones that got the kibosh put on it pretty quickly, because everyone sort of sat back and went, hang on a second, Luka Doncic next to Ben Simmons, all you need around Luka is shooting, 100%. And if you can't shoot, then I don't know how you're going to fit with Luka Doncic. So he'd just sort of be clogging up the lane, I reckon, for Luka. But these are the things that will sort of get tossed around for the rest of this season as well with Simmons. As he plays himself back into form, the Nets will kick the tires on whether or not they can sort of upgrade. He just needs to actually be playing better and to build that trade value back up, Dicko.
All right, well, loving the work of our Aussies in the NBA. Let's hope Melbourne's Josh Giddey has some more record-breaking days ahead.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
It's time to talk about some plot twists in the NBA as we welcome back our very own All-Star Carlos Boozer. Welcome, Carlos.
Guys, thanks for having me. How you doing?
We're all right here in the studio. Even better for having you on. All right, let's get straight into it. How worried should we be about the Knicks? Because their scorers ain't scoring, and dare I say it, their defence is like Swiss cheese, and that's no gooder.
Listen, during the course of the NBA season, it's a long season, so you're going to have some highs, you're going to have some lows. They started out the gate kind of hot. They've cooled off a little bit, but one thing I know about Coach Tibbs is that they're going to play great defense all season long. So hopefully that defense can translate into some offense for those guys, get back cooking and get some more wins.
You make a good point there about Tibbs. I mean, Doc has got a bit of a, quandary on his hands there in Philly. They've lost James Harden, and we've just seen Joel Embiid just go absolutely ham. He's put on his Superman cape. He's dropping 59-point games, Carlos. Is this the turning point, do you reckon, for Joel Embiid to make a bit of a run at the MVP? He missed out last year. He was upset. Is this the year he can actually turn it around?
Yeah, I thought he played great last year. I thought he played well enough to win the MVP, but Jokic, the voters went with Jokic. To me, it could have went either way. I think this year, especially with James Harden being out for the next month or so, he has to step up and score big for that team to be in games. I think Tyrese Maxey can help him out a lot as well, but Embiid has been on fire, man, scoring at will. He's so talented at his size. He can, do step back threes. He can also do a lot of damage in the paint. And he knocks his free throws down when you foul him. So from a scoring perspective, he's unstoppable as an offensive threat. And he's a really good defender as well. He does a good job protecting the paint and getting rebounds. So he has to play at that MVP level to give the Sixers a chance to win games, especially without one of the better players in James Harden.
Did anyone see the Cavs tripping up? I didn't. And the equation's pretty simple, Carlos, isn't it? They just need to nail the Hornets on Saturday, don't they?
Yeah, I think Darius Garland is playing lights out right now. Definitely one of the favorites to make the All-Star team in the Eastern Conference. That point guard has gotten better and better and better every season. He had a huge game the last night out. I just feel like he's the engine that makes that team go. They got a bunch of studs, Jared Allen, obviously, Mobley, even Kevin Love has been resurrected a little bit and having a good season as well. So I feel like the way that he's playing can get the Cavs over the hump.
I love it. How about the Blazers, Carlos? They're top of the West at the moment. They're awesome. But are they really a top 6 team in the West as this season goes? Really? Are they that good? Come on, Carlos. Sell it to me.
Yeah, they've come out the gate blazing, no pun intended, obviously, playing very well. They got a really good lineup right now with Dame Lillard coming back in the lineup. He's coming off injury, had a huge game, got a big defensive stop the other night. I don't know if they finished the season top 6 in the West. I think they're starting the season very well. I like what Anthony has been doing, but I still feel like defensively, when they start going against Golden State and the Clippers and the Nuggets down the stretch of the season, they're going to give up too many points to stay in the top 6.
Are we seeing the Utah Jazz cool off, Carlos? Because Saturday's game against Phoenix looks even tougher in the form they're in right now.
Yeah, Utah's been great. I mean, those guys, they don't have one superstar on the team. They've been playing lights out together, hard-nosed, playing physical, defending the ball, scoring the ball very well. They're always a high assist team. So very, very impressed with what they've been able to do and what their coaches have been able to do. I think they can keep it going. I feel like everybody on that team has something to prove. Markkanen's doing a great job. He's looking like an all-star this season. I feel like those guys are being led by their veteran leadership. Clarkson's doing a great job off the bench as well. I feel like they all got something to prove over there, and because of that, I don't think they're going to cool off too much. I think they'll be in the top 4.
Well, you've been on fire early, so stick with us, Carlos, because it's time to go head-to-head with our man James in the big call.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
Okay, we've dropped the zone and we're going man-to-man. There are 4 monster games this Saturday. It's time for James and Carlos to go head-to-head in the big call. And I'm going to start with James. First up, Bucks and the Sixers, or should we say Giannis versus Embiid. Who wins this one?
What a matchup, Dicko. I absolutely adore this. Like, you've got Giannis going up against Embiid. You've got the superstars across the court. I'm going to have to go with the Bucks, though. Just like, even with Drew Holiday sort of missing a few games, they've just proven they can still stick tough with teams. I think Brook Lopez can probably handle Embiid just enough that the Bucks get over the line.
What do you think, Carlos? You're going to stick with the Bucks like James?
I am. I think James is right on the money. I think the Bucks are the best team in the NBA right now. They're playing terrific. No matter who's in the lineup, if they're missing Chris Middleton, if they're missing Drew Holiday, they find a way to win ball games. And the Greek Freak is just so dominant. Giannis Antetokounmpo has been amazing. And that's no offense to Embiid. I just don't feel like Embiid can beat the Bucks by himself.
All right, now the big matchups continue, Carlos. With the Joker and his Nuggets against Luka's Mavs, how do you see this one going?
I'm going with Luka Magic. I just feel like he's on fire this year. He's probably the leading candidate for MVP right now. He figures out a way to get his team over the hump. I know the Denver Nuggets are super talented, but I'm going with Luka Magic.
I love it. I'm going to have to go against him there. I'm just saying. I like the Nuggets in this one. I think their three-point defense is basically, I think, around mid-table, but literally as soon as you stop the shooters and the Mavs, you can win. So give me the Nuggets against Carlos's Mavs. All
right, next up, I've got Boston and New Orleans with Tatum and Brown taking on Zion and Ingram. James, who gets home here?
It's got to be Boston. Basically, this is a top 10 defense of New Orleans versus the top 1 offense of Boston. This is a dominating duo in Tatum and Brown. Look, Spindles Ingram, I call him Spindles. He's not that spindly anymore. He's got great hair though. And the big rigger Zion, look, he went out with a foot injury last week. I'm going to trust Boston here. They can win this one pretty handily, I think. Those wings, too good, Dicko. Too good.
Too good. Well, you guys are normally in sync. So, Carlos, you going with Boston as well?
I am. I agree with James. I'm going with Boston. I think Boston's experience. Tatum is playing as good as anybody right now in the NBA. Brown is terrific. They're a top 5, top 10 defense, like James mentioned before. And I feel like New Orleans, they're kind of hot and cold. They're kind of inconsistent. Guys in and out the lineup. A lot of pressure will be on Ingram. I don't know if Zion's going to play. If he does play, I still got Boston winning this game.
Geez, that was emphatic. He's still got Boston winning. All right, now last up, Carlos, keep the energy going. We want your take on the Knicks versus Golden State.
I got Golden State. I think they're going to climb their way out of that hole they dug early in the season. Obviously you had Draymond Green get into a scuffle with Jordan Poole, but they're climbing their way out of that. Steph Curry has been on fire, averaging over 30 points a game, shooting 50% from the floor, 40 from the 3, 90 from the line. Only been done a few times before in NBA history. I got the Warriors finding a way to win this game.
James, you concur?
I'm going to concur with the Warriors winning this, but I can guarantee one other thing. There's going to be a lot of points in this one. There's going to be so many points. It's going to be raining down the Knicks defense. Look, Carlos mentioned it earlier. It's rounding into shape. It's still like all their games are going crazy overs. And the Warriors, we know what they can do offensively. So, look, I'm going to go Golden State, and I think there's just going to be a mass of buckets in this one.
All right, Carlos, another cracking display from you. Not long now, I've got some good news for you. I booked my flight to Miami, so 3 months until I join you over there. So I can't wait.
I can't wait to see you, buddy.
That's our show, James. Before we let you go, what's one thing we should be looking forward to this weekend?
I'll be looking forward to my couch, Dicko, because I don't think I'll move off it on Saturday. There's so many amazing games lined up. We've basically, the 4 that we hit on in this show, just lining up just to be an absolute treat. But Luka versus Joker, just sign me up for that. I'm just not going to move an inch.
All right, thanks for joining us on Fox Sports Lab NBA. Don't forget to subscribe below and follow us on socials. We'll see you for another massive show next week.